So I think she could be a tad overpriced at 9-1.
He's put the kettle on a potential gift here at 6-4.
He's a beautiful man. Dan Skelton's a beautiful man.
Zanza looking like one of the better bets of the weekend.
He actually got the gap earlier. He would have been the Champion Chase winner.
Jack hates it when I do that. Look at him. He hates it. Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. 4-hour weekend preview. We're back with a bumper card this weekend with 3 days of action at Cheltenham. Jack and I are going to be previewing some of the key races from those 3 days, and we're also going to be previewing the Morgiana Hurdle, the Grade 1 on Sunday at Punchestown. I have given Movember a go this night. It's the first time I've actually given it a proper go. I think we'll probably put the link down to the actual Movember link in the description. Do donate if you can. It's a great cause to get involved with. And I hope some of our followers, Jack, I can't quite see if you're going to be growing a moustache anytime soon. But yeah, I've given it a go, and hopefully there's a few people out there who are supporting the cause as well. But Jack, I bet you're looking forward to this weekend's action.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to be heading to Cheltenham for all 3 days. And yeah, we've got some incredible action either side of the Irish Sea. Won't be having to juggle Punchestown, Cheltenham, and the World Cup final of cricket, unfortunately, which is a shame because England being knocked out. But nonetheless, some unbelievable horse racing.
Yeah, it really is. And yeah, we do want to just quickly thank you for the recent support as well on the channel. We're very close to 850 subscribers. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate all the support we get. Let's get into the action then. We'll kick off with things on the Friday. It's the 2:20 at Cheltenham. It's a 2 mile 4 Class 2 novice chase. And look, it's like having, in my opinion, it's a bit disappointing, but we've got two horses in here. My Drogo is your 3-1 on favourite. And then we've got Gin on Lime, who's 5-2 here. Jack, I haven't actually got a very strong opinion in this race. It's almost like having a sort of 2-runner race in a Group 2 on the flat. But look, what's your opinion on this, having the 2 runners? It can become quite a tactical battle when it's like this.
I'm not really too sure. I think my Joker will probably just go off front and try and get the job done and almost treat it like a race course gallop. Of course, when you have these matchups we saw with Chantry House last week, they can always be a little bit underwhelming. So it'll be interesting to see how my Joker gets on. I mean, Gen Online was quite impressive last time out in that Grade 3 at Tipperary, but I think my Joker could just be a different gear, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. He's a very exciting prospect. Will I be backing against him? No, but will I be backing him? Absolutely not. It'll be one where you can just almost sit back and watch and hopefully see an exciting prospect in the store. It would just be better if there was 5 or 6 runners to kind of give him almost a little bit of a challenge rather than just the 2.
100%. It's very disappointing. Look, we probably won't learn too much about my Drogo on the day, but look, we'll see where his targets are after this race here. Right, let's move on then and get on to the action where there's plenty of runners. It's the 2:55 at Cheltenham, and we get to see the cross-country fences back out in action. It's over 3 3/4 miles, the Glen Farclas cross-country chase, and Balco de Flo is your 7-2 favourite here. Back on the lash is 6-1. Diesel Dalliere is 6-1. Talk is cheap 13-2. Potter's Corner 7s. Plan of Attack 15-2. Alfred is over 8s and 10-1. Bar those. Jack, it's a handicap this one, not like we have at the festival. It's unfortunate. We're not going to see Tiger Owl kind of in this race here. We're probably going to see him in the cross country at the Cheltenham Festival, but. Look, I'm with a horse here who I just think potentially could throw up a bit of a shock. It's a horse who's had experience round cross-country fences, not here at Cheltenham, but at Punchestown, where he won back in April. And that's Singing Banjo for me, who looks a fair price at 16-1. Look, you could question a lot of the horse's form here around this course, and some of them even haven't touched these fences yet. So you may see a horse come out and look quite impressive. But I take a horse here who I just think potentially will enjoy the course, enjoy the running. Been winning Hunters Chases as well. I think horses that do stuff like that can go on to win races like this. Seems like he's off a decent mark, and a £7 claim on board could be fairly useful. So a 16-1 each way bet for myself in there. Jack, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly the race I'm going to be most looking forward to for the day. It is fair to say, and it's not one that I'll be getting too stuck into from a punting point of view. Of course, you can see the angle with Balco de Flo was second in the National, so you completely see that. I think he's probably a little bit short, though, and Diesel Dalliere is probably where I'd be ending up. Of course, has experience over these cross-country fences, was 4th in the cross-country at the festival last year, actually won this race in 2019, and I think it's four winners since 2011 of this race have then gone on to win it again, so he may be able to bolster that record, and I think he's off a great way at 10 to stone 2. He's only rated 137, which he was also rated in the cross country last year. Obviously, that's not a handicap, but no, I think he'll be able to thrive over this course and distance again. The only problem for me is probably the ground. Probably wants a little bit more rain, so it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. If he can get 6-1 each way, it'll probably be a nice little each way tickle.
There we go. Okay, Diesel Dalier for Jack in the race at around 6-1, and for myself, Singing Banjo at 16-1 each way. And let's move on to the final race we'll preview on the Friday, which is the 3:30 there at Cheltenham. It's the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. It's a grade 2 over 2, mile 5. Gelino Bello is your 5-4 favourite here. Off Your Rocco is 5-2. Blazing Cow is 5-1. K Fernando is 8-1. Current Mood 12. Glen Castley is 20-1. And Kinavar is 150-1, the outside of the lot here. Jack, the Nichols horse did look very impressive the last entry, and one of those horses where you probably think he's going to come on for this run. A lot of the horses come on sort of 5-10 times for their run. I was quite taken by him. I think that potentially Off the Rocco is obviously going to be the huge danger here, but has to kind of give away a £5 penalty for the recent race that just won. So I don't know what you make of it, but I do think that Gelino Bello probably will just go and win this.
Yeah, I think he may do, but I also think he's probably half a point too short. I almost had it priced up at about 9-4 off your Rocco, 6-4, 6-4, 7-4 Gelino Bello. So when I saw there was 5-4, 11-8 on offer, I thought that was a little bit short, if I'm being honest. I mean, you couldn't not be impressed with the way he quickened up to the line. I mean, he went over the last hurdle, joint disputing the lead, and put 6 lengths between himself and two of his rivals. And if you look on the card, I mean, he was marginally quicker than the last of the line of the handicap of a much lower weight that day as well. So he's clearly an exciting novice. The thing with Off Your Rocco, of course, he does have the experience on his side. The ground won't be a problem as well. I mean, not last time out, but on his penultimate run at Listowel, he won very nicely on good ground. So I think he'll be able to handle the ground completely fine. But I think the £5, as you say, that could be crucial here. So I'll probably be with Gelino Bello. I'll probably have to see him drift a little bit to about 6-4, 13-8 to be getting properly stuck involved with him. But I think he could be a little bit too good.
Yeah, no, I think that could be the case. It's very early to start talking about these novices and how exciting they could be. But Gelino Bello, I think, is the better horse in here. And I think he's going to go and win. And Jack might say, I probably agree with him. The horse might be fairly short to back in a race like this. But if the horse did drift out to a nice price, then maybe worth getting on. Now, let's get on to Saturday's racing. We have put our preview up slightly later than we usually do with our videos. We've done that so that we can start getting the Saturday declaration. So we have a full knowledge of what's expected to turn up. We'll kick things off with the opening race, the 12:30 there, and it's the JCB Triumph Juvenile Hurdle, a 2-mile Grade 2, and Magistrato is your 13-8 favourite here. Night Salute is 9-2, Caramelise is 6-1, Mr. Allegro, Adosh, Elo Mana is 9-1 and 14-1, bar those. Now, Magistrato is fascinating, could give the Gary Moore horse Porticello a bit of a boost after Porticello put 3 lengths between this horse at Auteuil. Before switching yards. Now, the horse was very impressive, Magistrato, at Chepstow last day. How impressed were you, Jack?
Yeah, I was very impressed. I still think there could be something in behind that could come and beat him. We see it time and time again with these juveniles. When they're so unexposed as 3-year-olds, they can improve 10, 15 pound and 20 pound even in a run. And I think that could almost be the case here. And I think Adosh, one of the fillies, has almost been a little bit overlooked. I know fillies don't have the greatest record in this race, but I mean, she was actually in the same race as Porticello when unseating the rider at Wetherby. Now, she was travelling like an absolute dream. She was a little bit keen early, didn't jump very well, but she kind of jumped away into the race at the back of the field. And 3 out, she was making a cracking move around the outside. And then all of a sudden, she unseated the rider. But I mean, she ended up actually going away at the line almost. I know she was obviously carrying nothing. I mean, it was interesting just to see how she was travelling. I really like to see a juvenile that could almost make that smooth headway 3 out. She obviously has to touch up on her jumping, but she showed on her penultimate run at Market Raisin that she can jump and she can quicken away at the line. So I think she could be a tad overpriced at 9-1. She's obviously got £4 in hand as well, being a filly, the fillies and mares allowance that she gets. So I do think she'll be able to throw the gauntlet down to Magistrato, especially with that Porticello form tying in.
Yeah, no, I've actually got it down myself. Magistrato potentially the win bet, but I do think Adosh could run a really decent race at 9-1. I think fairly overpriced. I'd probably sort of half the price potentially on Adosh. So might be the one worth siding with. So Jack and I both keen on the horse each way. Magistrato could prove to be quite nice and could boost that form of the mighty Porticello. Gary Moore with another juvenile going into the season. I cannot wait. I mean, I I say that, but Porticello looks absolutely nuts, like a typical Gary Moore juvenile the last day. So could touch up on the jumping just slightly, but if they can get that sorted, Porticello looks very exciting, and hopefully Magistrato can go and boost that form. Now let's move on to a novice chase. Now it's the 140 there. It's a grade 2 over 2 miles. Third time lucky is your 5-2 on favourite here. Mick Pastor is 5-1. Captain Tomcat 7-1. And Sebastopol is 12-1. Jack, look, third time lucky won easily at the October meeting. And I don't think it's well, I'm not going to put it up as a selection, simple as that, but it's hard to be against the horse, I think.
Yeah, he was very impressive last time out, wasn't he? I mean, his price indicates that the wind operation probably has worked. I was listening to Dan Skelton say he's never really been that great of a jumper over fences, so it'd be interesting to see if his jumping can actually keep up to the task tomorrow as well. And if not, I think either Mick Pastor or Captain Tomcat will probably pick up the pieces. Probably Mick Pastor, of course, has a £5 swing in his favour today. I think he looked like he was going to go past Captain Tomcat last time out. Captain Tomcat was as game as anything and rallied to the line, which is fair play. But I think Mick Pastor's probably the best of the rest. Will I be backing him at 4-1? Absolutely not. I think it's going to be the third time lucky show. But if it's jumping, it is a slight worry for me. And if so, I think Mick Pastor will pick up the pieces.
Yeah, it's certainly a no bet race here. Third time lucky. It'd be interesting to see how good potentially you could look here and then go on to much bigger things. Maybe an underrated horse going into this season and could show up in some of the big novice chases. So let's go on now to, well, probably the big race on the Saturday. It's the 2:15 there. It's the Paddy Power Gold Cup Handicap Chase. A grade for over 2.5 miles. Protectorat for the Skelton teams is 9-2. Laylor is 11-2. Our Dancer 7-1. Midnight Shadow 17-2. Caribbean Boys 11-1. Zanza 12-1. Galahad Quest and Cool Cody 14-1 and 16-1. Bar those. Now, Jack, it's interesting to hear what Nichols said with regards to Layla, saying probably the best handicapped horse he has in the stable at the moment. Obviously won an Arkle trial here, I think, at the same meeting back in 2018. So has got form round this course. Look, do you think it sides with one of these two at the top of the market? Because I think I remember that Frodon won this last year, and obviously I think then went on to say that this horse could go on to a Gold Cup. Do you think we potentially have a Gold Cup outsider in this field at all?
No, quite simply no. I mean, I remember listening to Dan Skelton say that Ruby Walsh was telling him it's always nice to have a Grade 1 horse in a handicap, and I mean, Protectorat is a Grade 1 winner. You can't really ask too much more of that. But I mean, the problem with him is you've got 11 stone 12 to carry. It's no easy feat, is it? He's clearly the best in the race. He's rated 154. He's got a racing post rating of 162. I mean, he should really be getting the better of this field. But I mean, he's 5-1. 5-1 isn't the worst price in the world. There's still some meat on the bone there. But I think you kind of have to be looking elsewhere. And I think Zanza was very encouraging last time out when finishing third in the Howden Gold Cup behind Eldorado Allen. And I mean, he hit the line with plenty of conviction. I mean, his breeding suggests that this step up and trip isn't the worst idea. I mean, I think it was his fourth start when he got up at Taunton behind an all right field as a novice over hurdles. So I think the step up and trip will be all right. I know a lot of money's come from him as well. I think he's into about 12-1 from 20-1. So I think Tom O'Brien will be able to do the job. I know he's down £4 from that Howden Gold Cup. So I think that's an absolute steal of a mark. I don't really know how they've managed to drop him £4 for that. So I think each way at about 12-1 isn't the worst price in the world.
Do you know, I'm actually going to send you my notes after we finish this, because I've literally got down here Zanza looking like one of the better bets of the weekend each way here. Like you say, in the Howden Gold Cup at Exeter, finishing third there. I mean, finishing 17 lengths in front of Grenadine. If you had told me that back in April this year, I would have said, God, the horse is one of the best, in the jumps game at the moment. After Grenadine beat Altior in the celebration chase there at Sandown, and like you say, dropped £4. I'm still not, sure about that. I'm surprised the horse wasn't kept on a same mark after that run, but. Look, 7-year-old with Philip Hobbs. The one worry I would have is the stable and the jockey are not in the best of form in the last 14 days. It'd be a great chance to turn things around here. It'd be interesting to see how Layla gets on with Nichols. Like I say, very well handicapped. But it seems like Jack and I in the Paddy Power are going to be very keen each way on Zanza, which is going to be fascinating. So we'll see how Zanza gets on in the big one on Saturday. Let's go on to Sunday now. It's probably the race I'm actually most excited for this weekend. It's the 2:20 on the Sunday. It's the Schlur Chase. It's a grade 2 over 2 miles, and we see the champion chase winner put the kettle on, hopefully coming here as a 6-4 favourite. Nube Negra is 2-1. Sky Pirates 3-1. Politologue is 5-1. Rouge Viv is 7-1. And Bundoran is 40-1. Jack, is it me, or is Put the Kettle on a potential gift here at 6-4? Look, I know you love your beloved Nube Negra, and you're probably going to go on and talk about this horse in a second. But look, you've got a champion chase winner in here. You've got a horse who's 4 from 4 around Cheltenham, around this course. And look, £7 fillies. That it just all makes sense for me that this horse should be winning this race if turning up. Do you think Nube Negra can really turn the tables?
Oh yeah, 100%. I still think he should
Of
have won
course
the
you do.
champion chase. I still think he should have won the champion chase. If you watch it back, he had to be switched right. He was closing at the line. If he actually got the gap earlier, he would have been the champion chase winner. I mean, he'd be a single figure price now for next year's champion chase, and I'm sure the market would be the other way around. Yeah, Put the Kettle on. She's a great mare, isn't she? As you say, she loves Cheltenham like there's no tomorrow. But I think the ground's just going to be perfect for Nube Negra. I don't think there's going to be that much rain. I think on good to soft ground, I think he's going to absolutely thrive on it. And I think 2-1, is it a gift? Probably not. But I do think he is the best in the race. I think Politologue has it all to prove, obviously finishing 4th in the Marsh behind Fakir Dari, who went and won very nicely on Thursday this week. So it'd be interesting to see how that form holds up, because Politologue at 5-1, you don't usually see Politologue around that price these days. But yeah, it's clearly between the top 2 in the market. I really hope Nube Negra can get his head in front, because I've been shouting from the treetops about him. I really think he is top class. He's only maturing with age. I think he's just going to get better and better. Put the Kettle on. She's very, very game. She loves Cheltenham, but I think the ground's just in Nube Negra's favour. So at 2-1, I'm going to be with him.
Okay, right, yeah, Nube Negra for yourself. I'm going to be with Put the Kettle. I'm pretty sure I said Fillies allowance. I do apologise. I say Mare's allowance. I'm still transferring from the flats to the jumps. Too used to talking about the fillies. But yeah, no, I think Put the Kettle on should go and win this. It's actually quite interesting. We've got plenty of good 2-mile chase clashes going on at the moment with this one here, and potentially the talk this week with regards to the Tingle Creek and Shishkin versus Shakan, and even potentially if Shakan doesn't turn up, Energamain might turn up. So we just never know. But there's some good, really interesting clashes coming up in the next couple of weeks. So myself, we've Put the Kettle on, a bit of a match going on here, and Jack with Nube Negra in the Schlur Chase. Let's go on to the 255 now. This is grade 3. This is the Greatwood Hurdle. This is over 2 miles as well. No Ordinary Joe is 5-1. West Cork is 6-1. Adagio 7-1. Advanced Burger 8-1. Hadit Does Oboe is 8-1. Tritonic 10s. Jesse Evans and Cormier 12s and 14-1. Bar those. Now, you're probably going to think that I'm going to be putting up the Gary Moore horse, but no, that is not what is going to be happening. I'm actually going to be with Tritonic here. It's a very interesting selection. Second to I Like to Move It. The last time we will get on to I Like to Move It when we preview the next race. Now, Alan King is a trainer who I really like in this race, and ever since I've been in racing, I've always been interested in his horses. I mean, we look at the last kind of 5 years. He's had Harambe and Elgin, 2 horses I've actually backed as well. Then remember backing. I really do have fond memories of this race. I thought that the horse ran very well in the Holdings Hurdle. I do think that the horse still on the same mark. I think he's very classy. I think I Like to Move It's a very smart horse, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Like I say, I think this is a very good early plan for this horse. I think they probably had this outlined for a little while after the run at Cheltenham, thinking, look, we'll get a quick run around the course, and then we'll get him straight to here after. I just think with the yard, they're 18% strike rate from 49 runners in the last 14 days. I think they're in fairly decent form. And yeah, I'm going to be with this horse at double figure odds at 10-1, Tritonic each way for myself. Jack, what about yourself here?
I can't believe you left your man Gary Moore today.
You're going to go with him, aren't you? You're going to do it.
They're absolutely flying. You love a strike rate. They're going at almost 30% strike rate in the last 2 weeks. They're absolutely flying down there. And I mean, Haddox is over. It'd be great to see him do it, because I was a big fan of him as soon as he moved to the yard. He's a great, he's a great looker as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. Of course, he's 8-1. He's been shortened quite a lot in the market as well. West Cork's very intriguing, off for 600 days after finishing second at Kempton in the Dovecote Hurdle. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Listening to Dan, that they're very confident about his fitness and his well-being. But it'll be interesting, obviously, when you get to the race course, you don't really know how he's going to get on. And Adagio, of course, off 11 stone 12 off top weight. That looks like a little bit of a task at hand. So I'm going to land with Cormier again, because I keep sticking with him. He keeps running a great race, and he's failed to let me down so far, but he keeps placing, and I'm sure he'll get his head in front. He's dropped a pound for his run in the Welsh Champion Hurdle. He was at the rear of the field, came through the pack with really nice smooth headway, jumped quite nicely towards the end of it. Didn't really jump very well early doors, but I mean, I do think he's going to get his head in front. I still think he's well handicapped. I do think that he is going to win a graded race this year. I still think he's well handicapped on the flat as well, mind you. But I mean, 12-1, I still think that's a good price, and hopefully he'll be able to be there or thereabouts once again.
There we go. 2 double figure odds for myself and Jack. Then the Great Hurdle, myself with Tritonic and Jack with Cormier. Let's go on now to the 3:30. It's the Supreme Trial Novices Hurdle. This is over 2 miles. Grade 2. I like to move it. Is your 7-4 favourite here. Colonel Mustard is 7-2. Washington 4-1. Sonagino is 6-1. Ordinary Joe 6-1. Top Bandit 7-1. Picar is 8-1. Double figures. The others in here. It's quite an interesting race here because I'm with Tritonic. I actually do think that I like to move it. Is very smart. Look, came from the champion bumper and has actually taken to hurdles like a duck to water. I think that he's looked really, really smart. Some of the horses was a bit disappointing. I think it was a week ago, saw LA Bell come out and look quite disappointing actually over hurdles. But I do think this horse here has really taken these hurdles well. Looks like he's a talented animal. I do think the second horse in the market is very interesting and could actually give a boost to the form of Echoes in Rain in the Morgiana, where the horse finished third. This is Colonel Mustard, finished third behind that horse that punched down back in April. Jack, does it kind of revolve around potentially the top 2 in the market? Or is there some sort of outsider that you're going to be siding with here?
Of course, Washington as well for Ollie Murphy. I mean, he's looked very impressive so far. So interesting to see how he gets on his second start over hurdles. But I think this is more straightforward. I'm a fan of. I like to move. I completely agree. I mean, when a younger novice has course and distance form, I think that's a huge boost, especially around Cheltenham. So I do think I like to move it, getting the better of Tritonic. I think that's going to be, as you say, probably boosted. Of course, he was getting a lot of weight that day. I think he was being given £8, but I think he's clearly a very, very good horse and a very good prospect. So hopefully he'll be able to back that up this weekend.
Okay, yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's going to be. I like to move it in the Supreme Novices Trial. Let's get away from Cheltenham then. Let's go to Ireland for the big grade 1 over there. It's the Punch Down 205, the Unibet Morgiana Hurdle. This is over 2 miles. It's a grade 1. Echoes in Rain is your even money favourite here. Sharjah 3-1. Saudi Air 7-2. Abacadabras is 5-1. Zanahir is 6-1. Stormy Island 12s and Durasso is 16-1. That's been fascinating. I'm not sure when the declarations come out on Friday whether we're going to see all 3 of these Mullins lot at the top of the market. I'm sure that at least one's going to be withdrawn. I think Sharjah, we're going to wait for his big moment to come at Leopardstown at Christmas. I've always been a big fan of Saudi Air. I just haven't really, I've always liked him. I've never been confident with this horse. I've always thought he had showed a lot of ability. But this Echoes in Rain, Jack, a lot of talk and a lot of market move for this horse for the big race at Cheltenham next year. I think she's going to look like she's going to be quite smart this season. And Willie Mullins seems to say that this horse is a champion hurdle contender in the making. Obviously, this horse will get the mayor's allowance as well. Going towards the festival. I think Abacadabras, the Stayers Hurdle for me is what I'm waiting to see this horse targeted for. I really do think this horse is going to be a Stayers contender. But Jack, look, Echoes in Rain, if all the hype and shows all the form from last season where the horse should have probably been unbeaten if hadn't been keen in that race where the horse finished 4th, I think, back at Punchdown. I do think that this horse is very impressive and should potentially be going and winning this.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do actually think that she could get the better of Honeysuckle in the champion hurdle, if I'm being honest. I think she could keep maturing. Of course, she is very keen, but if she matures at the rate she did last year, she's only going to get better and better. I mean, with that mare's allowance we've seen in the champion hurdle, that it's almost a bit of a joke. Of course, she'll be getting it as well as Honeysuckle. So I do think she's going to be a huge player this year. I don't think she can be overlooked. I think 12-1 that's still available for the champion hurdle actually isn't the worst price in the world. Does she have to win this, though? I don't think so. I think if she finishes second, then I still think that's a good enough result. I think, of course, we'll see her drift a little bit in the market, but of course, going from novice company to open company first time out in the Morgiana is a big jump. I think even money is way too short, mind you. I think that's a pretty stupid price. I think she should probably be around 7-4, 2-1. But she was just very impressive at Fairy House and Punchestown, considering she was very keen and almost tried to pull the race away. I mean, if she's learned how to settle, if she's matured, I think she's is going to be a serious champion hurdle contender this year. And I do think that hopefully this will be a good stepping stone onto that.
Yeah, there we go. So it seems like a bit of a no-bet race for myself and Jack. It seems like one of those, if you do fancy Echoes in Rain to really go and rock up here, then you're better off taking possibly the price for the champion hurdle than this price here, where, like Jack said, even if the horse doesn't sort of, win the race, could potentially still be a massive contender come March. And obviously there'll be more contenders sort of coming up to the Christmas period as well for Echoes in Rain. And that's going to be it for our weekend preview. We are going to give our napper next best, as we always do. And we're hoping Jack's got one, because I haven't asked him before. Jack, we'll start off. Do you know what? We'll start off with the naps this week. Who is your nap of this weekend?
Tell you what, we get the nap done with early doors. It's the first race on the Friday. It's a big handicap. I love it. Scatman is the 72 favourite. I think he's got a huge chance. He's off 122. He's pretty much £3 well in, considering the horse who he beat in third last time out has now got a rating of 125. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But I do think Heart Approval is going to get a big race under his belt. He's 6-1. He was 4th at Cheltenham when I was there last time out. I think he was very impressive that day, although he was only in 4th. I love the way he jumps, and I think he does have a big race under his belt. So he's about 6-1 at the moment. He was 10-1 a couple of days ago, which is a bit of a shame, but I think 6-1 each way is going to be my nap of the week. Heart Approval, right in the 10-1 on Friday.
And there we go, getting the nap out of the way nice early. I'm going to be with Tritonic. I said what I need to say, but Tritonic each way will be my nap in the Greatwood Hurdle. And we'll go on to the next best. I'll kick things off. And my next best does not come from Cheltenham nor Punchdown. It comes from the mighty Fontwell. And I'm going to be with Lebroy, his favourite currently for the Southern National on Sunday at Fontwell. Look, he's been dropping down the weights, now down to a mark of 135. Look, the cross-country fences probably didn't suit how he expected it to suit. And I know that Ben Pauling thought the horse was going to run a big race in the cross country. It just didn't look like the race was made for this horse. But it's a very interesting starting point for Lebroy. It'd be interesting to see if they turn the horse out quickly after this one and go back to the Beecher where they finished third last year at the start of December. So fascinating to see. But yeah, 9-2, I don't think it's all that bad a price in what looks like a fairly weak Southern National, in my opinion. Jack, your next best for the weekend?
And the next best is going to be Adosh in the 12:30 on Saturday. I think, obviously, we've spoken about it. I think she is a top-class filly. Hopefully, she'll be able to prove that here. And although fillies don't have the best record in this race, I think hopefully she'll be able to give a good account of herself.
There we go. And yeah, you'll probably see all of our main selections on the screen now for this week. And hopefully Jack and I can have plenty of wins. We've actually started the National Hunt season off in fairly decent style.
Don't say that.
And there's the curse. And Jack hates it when I do that. Look at him. He hates it.
Why?
There we go. We've started a little fairly confident. We actually haven't said a stable or a jockey who's going to have a good weekend, because every time we say that, we've actually put. We're not going to say it this week.
He's a beautiful man. Dan Skelton's a beautiful man. He doesn't let you down.
The Skeltons are going to have another big weekend, according to Jack. That's all I'm saying. Right, we are going to be back next week. We're going to have a feature video out next week, which will be a video of what's to come over the Christmas period. It'll be a little bit of an advert telling you what we've got coming our way, with an exciting video coming to you right close to Christmas. And then next week, we'll be back for our weekend preview. We'll be previewing the Betfair Chase, where currently Aplutard is your anti-post favourite for that race. It looks like a really intriguing contest, and Jack and I are looking forward to getting stuck in to that one. And then that will be it for this week, and we'll obviously be back next week. But yeah, thanks so much for the recent support. Give the video a like if you haven't already. Do comment down below with your nap of the weekend, and we will see you probably Thursday or Friday next week for our weekend preview. Thanks for watching.